Da, 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 da. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this second Harry Potter audio fan commentary with myself and the guy that just yelled, Jack, as usual.
That wasn't me, that was Sean Connery.
yeah. Where we commentate on the second film of the Harry Potter film series based on the book Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, directed by Chris Columbus, once again released in 2002. So, a film which came out the year after the first one, obviously the first one being hugely successful, if I could speak. This film is actually even longer than the first one. It's 10 minutes longer. It's 2 hours 40 minutes. The first one was 2.5 hours. So, are you ready to get back into the magical world, Jack?
No! Oh, yeah, of course I am.
You have no soul. I'm joking. Okay. I mean, if you've seen these commentaries, you know the drill. Well, I guess if you've heard these commentaries, I guess you can't really see them.
Yeah.
You know that we're just doing this for fun. We're just fans. We're not getting paid for it. If you want to follow along, put your DVD or Blu-ray to 0 or whatever device you're watching the film on and follow us through that. And yeah, I think that's it. So, Jack, anything else you want to
add? No, just looking forward to the film.
Cool. So, do you want to do the countdown or shall
I? I will, if that's all right.
Yeah, sure, bud. Go for it.
3, 2, 1. Flipendo!
It's weird. Flipendo's a spell they never used in the films. Or the game.
Yeah, it was in the game. I used to think Harry said in the game, Nintendo! Whoa.
Nintendo!
Yeah, the score
this
by
be
John.
The last time. Oh yeah, sorry, Jack. After you.
No, I just said the score by John Williams is great.
Oh yeah, love the classic theme. But I think also what's interesting, this is the last time that we see the gold titles. The titles would go grey for the Prisoner of Azkaban. So interesting to see how, because that's when it starts to get really dark.
I prefer the gold titles, but yeah, I mean it's kind of weird they changed it to grey or silver or whatever for the next one, but yeah.
I think it kind of works though, because Prisoner of Azkaban is a much more bleak-looking movie, and the series progressively got darker, so it kind of makes sense. It's nice that we had it for the first 2 films.
Yeah. I like this opening scene, like Harry looking through the book. It's really nice.
One thing you'll notice is Daniel Radcliffe's voice has dramatically changed.
His balls have dropped. Literally.
Yes. Look quicker than Sam Smith's.
Yeah. I have to say that cake looks delicious.
It's a shame what happens to it.
Yeah. I mean, we could see the Dursleys definitely like their cake.
Yeah, they do. I mean, well...
I think the actors here give better performances than the first one. Not that they were bad in the first one. I just think Daniel Radcliffe here is stronger than he is in the first one.
He's got a much more air of confidence about him this time. The first film, I think kids kind of knew they were just trying to, get the ground running. But I think they're actually a lot better here.
When it said the goodness of our hearts, I'm like, oh, the goodness of your hearts, locking him underneath the stairs. Right. It's interesting how that the Dursleys are kind of snobs, you know.
Yeah. Well, I think, they don't give a shit about Harry, and they only took him in because they had no choice.
They care more about the neighbours than Harry.
I think also there's a resentment for Harry because Petunia is his aunt, and obviously she resented for being magical. So there was a big family feud, and I think that definitely transcends into Harry because she doesn't want anything to do with magic, and in their house, but
Dobby. I love
here we
Dobby.
are. One of the best characters in this series.
Mr. Potter, Dobby.
Voiced by Toby Jones. CGI isn't too bad. It's actually still held up rather well, considering this film came out 2002. 17 years ago.
Dobby, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you or anything.
Offend Dobby?
Dobby has heard of your greatness, sir, but never has he been asked to sit down by a wizard. Well, can't have met many decent wizards then. Nothing to say.
It's weird how Dobby in this scene, they kind of play it more for laughs.
Yeah. Dobby!
What I think is better about this film is the fact that we get going quicker. The first film had to set up quite a lot, whereas this one, we can just go for it. You know, this film assumes that the audience has seen the first one, and so it doesn't have in actually introducing anything other than new characters like Dobby and the story. So, like, we get to Hogwarts a lot quicker. There's just much more of a sense of adventure about this film than the first one.
Yeah, I mean, the first one was more about world building and introducing you to the wizarding world and to Hogwarts, but this film kind of cuts to the chase, which I think, in my opinion, helps.
Yeah, I mean, despite the fact that it's longer as well.
Yeah, I suppose there's more that happens in Chamber of Secrets than Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah, and actually, this is probably the most faithful to its novel out of the series, I would say. Give me the lamp. It's weird how they think that this would be Harry, you know, making all these noises.
Well, suppose there's nobody else in there.
Well, not that they think. Japanese golfer joke. I mean, the Dursleys, they feature quite a lot in this series. I mean, obviously only in brief, but all their appearances I really like. Especially their appearance in the third film when Aunt Marge comes over.
Oh, that was hilarious.
I mean, we'll get to that next time, but I mean, I think this film does a great job at telling the story. I mean, it does leave a couple of things out. It changes a couple of things around, but nothing for me that really damages the story. For me, you get the essential story in this film.
Yeah.
It didn't need an extended cut. It was long enough.
Agreed. I mean, I think the CGI for Dobby is dated quite well.
Well, yeah, I think it's held up quite well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I remember this scene, like, I mean, out of all the things to do, Dobby is just, you know, that's kind of a shit thing to do, you know.
Dick move, Dobby, and Dick
Yeah.
move.
Oh, God. Oh, jeez. He is.
Didn't just say that, you know, why he didn't just say, oh, you know, Lucius Malfoy is going to do this and he's going to open the Chamber of Secrets. Like, instead, it's like, no.
Oh, God.
I'm so sorry. It's my nephew. He's very disturbed.
Yeah.
You're never gonna see those freaky
He's literally in a prison.
Where the fuck are social services? We said this last time, and it still amazes me how social service is. Oh dear.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this is child abuse. It really is.
Yeah, I mean they keep him in prisoner against his will. You know, I mean to be fair, he doesn't really have anywhere else to go, but still. Also, one thing about this film which is unique is the flying car. That flying car is amazing. I love it so much.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing this as a kid, and this scene I always used to love. And it's on the front cover of the book as well, the flying car, which is really cool.
Yeah.
One thing I will say that Chris Columbus did a really good job. He was really faithful to the books and everything in the books, and he brings the world of Harry Potter alive in such a great way. And I'm glad he is faithful to the books, because I mean, if he had deviated so much, the films probably would have bombed at the box office, and we wouldn't have had the series that we still do now.
Yeah. And actually, I've seen that flying car in the studio tour. They've actually hung it up to the ceiling, or a model of it, at least.
I can't believe this was 17 years ago.
Yeah. This is quite.
You aren't going anywhere. He is scary. Whoa. No. That's the good thing about Chamber of Secrets. There's a balance in tone. Like, they're getting slightly darker, but they still haven't lost the kind of the humor, the lightheartedness of this series. It gets a bit bleak by the third film onwards, but I think this is the last time when it's truly lighthearted, until the first Fantastic Beasts movie. Yeah, I mean, it is. I do like that scene. It's like "Happy Birthday, Harry." I mean, it's interesting. They probably didn't even celebrate his birthday because they don't give a fuck.
And this is interesting. This is the first time we get to see the Weasleys. Well, I mean, we've seen them, but we get to see their home, and it's kind of interesting to know that they're actually very poor. But there's like loads of them, and they're all kind of living in a very tiny house, and because there are families out there that are living in similar conditions. Obviously, they're just not magical families.
I mean, for people who are supposed to be poor, they look quite rich, to be honest. But yeah, well,
Well, I think that's because Arthur Weasley, the dad, he's into a lot of Muggle artifacts, and he's kind of built the house, and he's kind of built everything for them, so it looks a bit better than it probably is. Walters.
yeah, it's better that she's not singing here.
I knew you were going to mention Mamma Mia. To be fair, I think she is a good singer.
Yeah, but I'd rather have her in Harry Potter than Mamma Mia any day. I remember actually playing this part.
In the game.
In the game, yeah, playing around the Weasley house. Quite fun.
Did you play the PS2 version?
I played the PS1 version.
Ah, right, so it was slightly different. Yeah, the PS2 one, you did a similar thing. Like, Fred and George would teach you spells, and you'd have to it was basically a tutorial, essentially.
It's interesting that Ginny, it's the first time she sees Harry, but it's funny years later that they would marry.
Yeah. Well, funny, they actually met on the platform in the first film, but this is the first time where he properly meets her, yeah. And she's like, "Have you seen my John book?" She's like, "Yes, it's on the cat." They're quite a quirky family, aren't they? And Mark Williams as Mr. Weasley.
Yeah. I mean, Mark Williams has been a lot of things. I remember him as Peterson in Red Dwarf. But, yeah.
He's a very good actor, I think. He's a very underrated actor.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I got like that was very wrong indeed, boys. Well,
I think he's perfect for this role.
yeah.
The function of a rubber duck.
Rubber duck. Yeah.
Ooh.
I do think the other Harry Potter films, from what I've seen, did have light moments, but I agree with you. This is probably the last one where the light tone is kind of, you know, most present.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, as you said, I mean, it's not like the other films are devoid of charm or devoid of light relief. Of course not, but they're noticeably more darker. This is we're still early into the overall story of the entire saga. But yeah, I mean, it's slightly darker. I mean, everything with the basilisk that comes towards the end, I think, is quite darker, and it's a bit more complicated than the first one.
Yeah. Remember someone says Diagonally or something?
Tiger Lily.
It doesn't work.
I love the costumes and the sets. I mean, the attention to detail in these movies is amazing. And when you go to the studio tour, it puts it in perspective for you completely.
Diagonally. Well,
Funny, in this scene, Harry, there was actually an extension of it filmed, which was in the book, where Lucius Malfoy comes in and talks to the shop owner with Draco, and Harry's hiding in the cupboard. But I guess they thought it might as well cut it because also the movie was long anyway, and the fact that Lucius Malfoy gets introduced later, it would kind of defeat his entry. But this is quite a creepy scene actually when he's looking through all of the skulls and all the dead things, and then there's that hand that grabs him, which is ugh.
yeah, I remember as a kid that freaked me out. Yeah.
Oh snap!
Yeah.
It looks like a Dementor's hand or something.
Yeah. Oh.
That made me jump actually the first time I saw it.
Yeah, same. Well, I guess you could say I was trying to lend Harry a hand.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I just had to.
Yeah, no. Fair enough. Let you have that.
Yeah, I mean, you're lucky that you went to the Harry Potter sets and all that, because I'd fucking love to go there.
Yeah. Well, if you ever come to the UK, we must go there because there's a lot to see.
Well, I am in the UK, but yeah.
Sorry, I mean England. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh. You're in a fucking mess, Harry.
It's kind of sad that Hagrid after this film doesn't get as much to do in the series, but you know.
Yeah, he's still there. I mean, in the last film, he's not actually in it very much. He's in a few scenes, but I think his presence is still there. But yeah, in the first two, he's kind of more involved in the story. But that's kind of the way in the books as well. Anyway, actually, I mean, he gets a fair bit to do in the third film because he becomes a teacher.
I remember I just used to watch this a lot when I was a kid. Like, I had this DVD of this, and I used to watch it all the time.
Is this your favorite of the series?
Yeah, I think it is my favorite of the series.
Or at least at the moment.
Well, yeah, but I mean, maybe it'll change when I re-review the series. But I always just remember, like, out of the Harry Potter films that I saw, this was my favorite one. I mean, I've read the books of Deathly Hallows and Half-Blood Prince. But
Yeah.
Yeah. Gilderoy Lockhart, magical me.
I think Kenneth Branagh is great in this role. He's brilliant. I mean, he's just so like, up his own arse. This character is just such a narcissist. It's unbelievable.
And it's funny how like all the girls are like swooning over him, even Hermione.
And yet, in the end, he's a fraud. And I wonder how he ends up like teaching, because he's a teacher. He obviously just blags his way through his lessons.
Yeah. Harry Potter.
He's such an arsehole.
You wouldn't tell he's from Northern Ireland with the accent.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, what an extraordinary moment.
I guess he's changing his accent.
This morning to my autobiography, Magical Me.
Magical me.
I also like the music score, the theme they give him.
He is such a narcissist, but he's kind of like a lovable arsehole.
Yeah. But he ends up being a prick because he nearly tries to, wipe Harry's memory.
Yeah,
Later on.
free of charge. He may as well just like have a. He may as well just have a plaque or like a badge on his cape that says "I'm great" or something like that.
Or just magical me.
Yeah.
Oh, here comes Draco.
Bet you love that, didn't you, Potter? Famous Harry Potter. Can't even go to a bookshop without making the front page.
Malfoy is such a.
Harry Potter? A girlfriend.
He's such a git.
I have to say, I think is it Jason Isaacs?
Jason Isaacs, yeah.
Yeah, he does a really good job as Malfoy's dad.
Oh yeah, Lucius, yeah.
Yeah,
I love his voice and how sinister he is. Like, oh now, Draco, play nicely. And he turns out to be quite a wimp by the end of the series. But I won't spoil anything. I'm sure you've read the books.
yeah. I mean, Jason Isaacs, who plays Lucius Malfoy. I mean, he said he watched Chamber of Secrets to sort of get the feel for his dad.
You mean the Philosopher's Stone?
Sorry, yeah, Philosopher's Stone, yeah. What about you? Yeah.
He's so creepy and he's so just like very calm and sinister. Like he very rarely raises his voice and he always talks very posh and I like that.
Yeah. He's quite.
That hair.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of Beckett from Pirates of the Caribbean.
I think, yeah, you know what? You're right. I never thought about that, but there are a lot of similarities between them. I think definitely in the way they speak.
Yeah, and they don't really raise their voice. I mean, Jason Isaacs is a great actor. I mean, he was in Death of Stalin as well, which he was really funny in that. He's putting on a northern accent for that film. But yeah.
Wow. I've never heard Jason Isaacs do a northern accent.
He's like, hey, I'm a general. Well,
Northern's a weird one. I did Northern when I was the ugly sister.
go on, we have your lovely beans on toast.
Go on, have your lovely beans on toast.
And I think he says in Death of Stalin, someone to look on your fucking face.
See you in school.
It's interesting how Hermione's parents are just ordinary people, but like I don't really understand like why people are nasty about it. I mean, it's like who cares if her parents are just muggles?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean you're right, but that's the wonderful thing this film addresses: the idea of prejudice and discrimination and racism in the magical world. And I think it's clever the way Rowling has implemented that in the story, especially with Hermione, as Draco calls her mudblood, just because of her background. Whoops.
Lost control of the trolley. Why can't we get through? I don't know. The gateway sealed itself for some reason.
Did they ever explain it? Was it Voldemort or was it Dobby?
Oh no, it's Dobby. He's trying to
Yeah.
stop them from going to Hogwarts. So he's trying to. All these things that are happening are him.
Oh yeah, it is Dobby. Yeah. They take the car.
Yeah, I've always found that kind of reaction kind of confusing. Like he's like the car, as if like he doesn't like, as if he's like thinking, Harry, what the hell are you talking about? But he knows his dad has a car.
But at the same time, I think he doesn't have a license to drive a car or fly a car.
Yeah.
Well,
I guess he's too young to really be sent down in the prison, isn't he? So,
yeah.
I mean, they just wanted to get to school, so I guess the ministry wouldn't see it as a big deal.
Come on, man. Let's go lower. We need to find a prey. Okay.
I think the reason I prefer Chamber of Secrets is because the story here is darker. I mean, this is definitely a darker film than the first one. It still has it still has a lot of light moments, but I mean, I think the whole Tom Riddle stuff later on is just great, and I just think it's a great film. I mean, it's a childhood favorite film of mine. You know, I think it's a great film. You know, and they did a great job adapting the book.
And it's very intriguing as well. I still think the effects are good. They've held up very well.
I think the effects are held up better than the first one.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, the actors look less rubbery with the CGI.
Oh my god. Well, I mean, the good news is if you fell on the train, you'd at least end up in Hogwarts.
You know, it's just shake my hand. Imagine if you said, "Let go of the Grail, son."
Yeah. Only the penitent man will pass.
Well, Harry Potter and the Last Crusade.
Yeah. Last Crusade to get to the fucking school.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never seen kids actually do this much to get to school. Like, usually it's the opposite way round.
They can't wait to get out.
Yeah.
To be fair, if it was Hogwarts, I'd probably make the same effort to get there.
Yeah. And plus, it's better than being stuck with the Dursleys.
I love that. Welcome home. Kind of a nod back to the last scene in the first film when Harry said, "I'm not going home, not really."
Oh, shit!
And this is Dobby as well.
Ron, you should have paid more attention.
To be honest, you know, Dobby stopping them would have made things worse. Because, you know, Harry and Ron needed to be there to stop Tom Riddle and save Ginny. So, you know, stopping them from doing that would have resulted in Ginny probably dying and the school being shut down. So,
Yeah.
I'm amazed the school hasn't been shut down, to be honest, after all the bad things that happen every year.
Yeah. You mean the amount of times the pupils have been put in mortal danger? I love the way his voice goes all high pitched.
Ron is a lot. He's a lot more scared in this film, especially when it gets to the spider sequence.
Yeah. Troll in the YouTube comments.
Someone should probably make a parody of that. That could be your sketch for the first film, the review.
Troll in the YouTube comments. What you ought to do?
What do you want to know?
Harry takes on the troll in the YouTube comments. Block him! Block him! Use the block spell.
It's worthy to note that tree is called the Whomping Willow, and it will return in The Prisoner of Azkaban. Whoa. Woo!
Car has a mind of its own.
It does actually.
Ugh. I don't understand why anyone would keep a pet rat. I just don't.
Yeah, I mean, I know you get the domesticated rats, but they've never appealed to me, to be honest.
Yeah. Ratatouille. At least we don't have linguini here.
Whoa! 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 So they've probably arrived very late.
It's interesting how they get in trouble as well.
It is quite serious, to be fair. Like how they embroidered sort of more politics into the magical world as the series goes on, and when we see the Ministry of Magic, and actually Fudge, the minister, comes in this film.
Oh dear. I always find
We're in trouble, my boy.
flying car. Damage? I think there's more damage to the car than to the Whomping Willow.
Silence.
Where you can slither and your fate resting with me. The both of you would be on the train home tonight. As it is.
Professor Dumbledore.
Uh-oh.
You're in the shit now, boys. And yeah, this is sadly Richard Harris's final performance as Dumbledore, which is really sad because unfortunately he passed away after this film was released, which is really unsettling. But I think he's wonderful in this film. He's a really, really good as Dumbledore in this film. I think in some ways he's actually better than he is in the first.
I think because he gets more to do in this as well.
Yeah. But I loved his character of Dumbledore. He comes across as such a warm, caring, genuine character. I know Michael Gambon can't copy Richard Harris, but he definitely changed the character quite a lot.
Yeah.
In the third film. But I mean, obviously they had to respectfully recast. There was no other way. The character's too important. You can't leave him out. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Miriam Margolyes.
Yeah, she's a good actress.
Yeah. She's in a lot of comedy stuff as well.
She tells some really weird stories in Graham Norton's show.
Yeah, one of the weirdest was some guy tried to put a cock in her arse, whatever.
Yeah, on the bus, he was like rubbing himself against her. She was like, "Will you take your cock out of my ass?" Yeah, I won't repeat most of the stories for our listeners or viewers as we're live, but yeah, certainly check those videos out because they're quite funny.
I don't know why that guy tried that because I mean she's not the most attractive woman in the world.
Yeah, it was probably when she was younger.
Or maybe he recognized that she was famous, and then I was like, "Oh,
yeah." It might.
yeah.
I mean, who knows? Oh, the Mandrake.
It is weird. Lol. Neville Longbottom.
Longbottom.
Just leave him there.
Leave him. To be honest, you could get in really big trouble for that if you're a teacher. You could be put on warning for leaving a student just there because you have a duty of care. So you would be charged with serious misconduct, but oh well. I mean, it works for comedy.
Nearly had the snick again.
Yeah.
I viewed a Fish Called Wanda recently with John Cleese. Hilarious comedy.
I like John Cleese. He's a very funny man.
Basil Fawlty. Well, he's Colin's a little bit annoying, but
Yeah. He's a good kid though.
yeah. Oh,
The
you
big
got mail. It's the postbird.
That poor owl. I swear that owl must have sight problems. He can't see where he's flying. He
Yeah.
just crashes into everything.
Yeah. It's a nice oil, though.
Yeah.
Well, I remember this scene where his mother rants at him for the letter. It's hilarious.
Oh yeah. I believe that is the scene that we're on.
You know, if I was him, I just wouldn't open it. I just don't open it.
Yeah. Bloody bird's a menace. Julie Walters nearly lost her voice from doing this bit.
Lol.
Congratulations on making your future. Your father and I am so proud.
Cheers, Mum. How embarrassing is that in front of the whole school?
Yeah. Well, he definitely got his arse chewed out.
God.
Gilderoy Lockhart. Me. I definitely am not egocentric.
I love that he's a painting within a painting. I guess most of his lessons are just him talking about himself, you know, and what he did.
Well, it's hilarious that Hermione has a crush on him, that everybody does. God.
Ron is not impressed.
Yeah.
My job to arm against powerless creatures known wizard kind.
I mean, Lord knows, why does he let these damn things out? You know, he just causes more problems than he solves.
Yeah, I don't know, like maybe to show how you put them away. I don't know.
Yeah.
See what you make.
Kind of hilarious.
I think this sequel is definitely a lot more action packed than the first film.
I think the pacing is slightly better as well, even though it's longer.
Yeah.
Neville.
I think there is a section towards the middle where it does kind of slow down a bit, but it is overall pretty damn good, like pacing wise.
Neville Longbottom. He's always the butt of the joke.
Yeah. Although it's great to see him in the last film, how he's changed.
Yeah. Even Gilderoy Lockhart is useless against him.
Makes you wonder why Dumbledore hired him. I guess. Well, then again, I guess Dumbledore probably didn't.
Yeah, look how much destruction they've caused already. You know.
Like he's gonna get a written warning, you know, from Dumbledore.
Like you thought Harry and Ron were bad, you know. To be honest, I mean, even though Harry and Ron did almost expose themselves to the wizarding world, it wasn't really their fault.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, it was Dobby.
Yeah. Once again, Hermione saves the day.
Poor Neville. Why is it always me?
Ooh.
Quidditch obviously will be back a bit later in the film.
I think Malfoy in this has a Nimbus 2001.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes sense for Malfoy to be the seeker of Slytherin.
Malfoy. Oh, God.
You prat.
Potter?
Potter.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's not all of who this
Could you
is.
stick your paws off me, you damn dirty ape? No!
See, Weasley, unlike some,
At least now we're on the Gryffindor. They got some talent.
Ooh.
Where-
Stinner. Ooh.
Racist.
He's a prig. He's a prick.
Eat slugs. Love that there's a spell called eat slugs.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh,
This
What-
is disgusting.
Say something.
Oh god. He actually had to have those in his mouth, like the real ones.
did he, or did they just cut to a slug falling out? Oh.
No, obviously they put like one in his mouth each time, but apparently because he talked about it in an interview, he said it wasn't pleasant, but I mean, it certainly looks good on film.
Yeah. No, I imagine it wouldn't be pleasant at all having slugs in your mouth. Ugh. Oh, God.
God.
Better out than in.
Hermione. Well, I don't know exactly what it means.
I feel bad for Hermione.
She's so smart and intelligent, you know. And, you know, she doesn't deserve that.
Liam's dirty blood. My blood's already found him as Voldemort. Someone with non hand. Someone like me. It's not a turn when you do this.
Well, who cares if your parents don't have magic powers? The Aryan race. Oh, God.
Ron kind of suffers a lot in this film. He gets his one broken, he has to puke up slugs, he has to endure going through a forest of spiders, and his sister gets captured. My God, I mean, he goes through it all in this film.
Yeah. It's amazing that we saw these kids grow up into adults over this 8 films.
Yeah. And it's great that Hagrid is so supportive to Hermione.
Oh, God.
He's such a pompous git.
Celebrity is as celebrity does. Yeah, well, you're loving it, mate. If there's a 4-letter
I mean,
word to describe him, it's vain. He is so vain.
Yours. You probably think this song is about you.
Carly Simon. Well,
Oh, that was Carly Simon. Oh, yeah, of course. I can't forget about that.
you're nuts, Potter.
Great Scott!
Can you imagine Doc was there? Great Scott! 1.21 gigawatts!
You can't just say Great Scott and get away with it. That's just not cool, man.
Don't call me chicken. Quite interesting how we find out that he can talk to serpents later on in this film.
Which doesn't put him to be very popular with the other students.
Voice. Voice? What voice?
Imagine if they put him in a straight jacket. You're mad, Harry. You're nuts.
It's a madhouse. A madhouse.
Harry, wait! Not so fast!
Oh, can't keep up, Hermione.
Oh,
It's
spiders.
interesting how the spiders.
To like spiders.
Oh, the blood. It's disgusting.
Oh.
Scribbling blood.
Didn't need to point that out. Hermione was pretty obvious.
Well, we all know what Hermione's like. She likes her facts.
Filch's cat.
Oh,
Oh,
that's disgusting.
I think Blofeld put his cat too hard.
Harry should stand back from the corpse. Look like he did it.
Yeah, he's just unintentionally framed himself. No pictures, Colin. Not now.
Any of the air and wet?
It is kind of ironic the students just happened to be walking down the corridor at that time.
I can't believe Filch thinks Harry did it.
Yeah. Like, what reason would Harry have to do that to Filch?
Oh, God.
You murdered the cat. Oh, kill ya. Oh, kill ya!
Of course he didn't do it. Like, yeah, why would Harry do that?
Everyone.
Because the script asked him to.
Everyone except you three.
Harry Potter. I have to say, yeah, Richard Harris. It's sad that this is his last film as Dumbledore, because for me, he is the best Dumbledore. But he is great in this film, and he gives a very good performance, nonetheless.
I know exactly the kind of that could spare her.
Not the right time.
Ask him. It's him that's done it. You saw what he wrote.
It's not true, I swear. I never touched Mrs. Norris.
Rubbish.
If I might have my stupidity. I was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Well, he's right.
However, the circumstances are suspicious.
It's circumstantial evidence. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I love the look on Steve's face, like,
Fan Bill.
yeah.
Yes.
When I said I wasn't hungry. We were heading back to the common room.
Innocent until proven guilty.
My cat has been pickled on. I want to see some punishment.
Whoa.
Able to cure. As I understand it.
I thought the cat was dead.
Oh no, she's just petrified, you know. So it's not dead as such, just almost frozen.
I always, like, when I was a kid, I always thought they took the cat's blood and put it on the wall.
Oh, yeah. Bit graphic. Nice shot of the moving staircase.
I mean, to be honest, I think it would be great if Chris Columbus came back to the series to direct the next Fantastic Beasts, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how old he is now, Chris Columbus. He must be getting on a bit.
Yeah, I mean, he could still do it, or, you know, somebody else. I mean, I think David Yates, I mean, he's directed a lot of the films. He doesn't need to direct all the films, but I suppose He wants to, so fair enough.
He's got nothing better to do for the rest of his life. So.
No, today we will be transforming animals into water goblins.
I also like Maggie Smith as McGonagall. I think she's great in this part. I mean, I think she gradually gets more to do as well as the films go on. And in the last film, she gets a fair bit to do in the final battle.
You always have to pick Rob. His one's broken though.
Yes, Miss Green. Professor, I was wondering if you could tell us about the Chamber of Secrets.
Ooh.
Touchy subject.
Very well.
Surprised that she did
You all knew
answer her.
the top was.
I guess because she knows that they've all seen the blood writing, so they might as well know about it.
Yeah.
Godric, Helga Hufflepuff, Rowena Ravenclaw, and Salazar Slytherin.
Salazar Slytherin.
Imagine it was Captain Salazar. Where's Jack Sparrow?
Yeah, the Sparrow.
Salazar Slytherin wished to be more selective about the students admitted to Hogwarts.
Dame Maggie Smith is great in the Harry Potter films.
I agree wholeheartedly. And again, it's nice to know that we've still got a British cast.
Yeah. I know Alan wasn't a huge fan of Fantastic Beasts since it was all American, but fair enough.
Yeah, that was kind of the point of it, that it was going out of Hogwarts, going around the world, I mean, the second one's in Paris. They're changing the location each time.
The air alone would be able to open the chamber and unleash the horror within, and by so doing, purge the school of all those who, in Slytherin's view, were unworthy to study magic.
Muggles.
But naturally, the school has been searched many times. No such chamber has been found.
Professor, what exactly does legend tell us lies within the chamber?
Chamber is said to be home
She
to
does.
something
I
only
mean, she
the
does very
elves
willingly
can
just
control.
tell them the information
It is said to be the home of a monster.
of a monster.
It's true. It really is a chamber of secrets.
I don't know where Jack has gone, but I'm sure he'll be back in a second.
McGonagall's worried all the teachers are.
If there really is a chamber of secrets, I don't really.
I'm just getting a drink.
Oh, no worries.
Question is, who is it?
Let's think.
Now, this is where the mystery begins. I think it's great that this film kind of, for me, it has a more intriguing mystery, and I just find this plot to be slightly more engaging than the first one. But the first one's great. Don't get me wrong. I love the first one, but I do think this is the stronger film. Even though this film is very long, 2 hours 40 minutes, so it does go on a bit, I think, in places. But overall, it's very, very good.
Very dangerous.
And the idea of the Polyjuice potion is good. I like that.
Here it is. The Polyjuice potion. Properly brewed, the Polyjuice potion allows the drinker
Oh,
to
excuse
transform
me.
himself temporarily into the physical form of another.
You mean if Harry and I drink that stuff, we'll turn into crab and goyle?
Yes,
Kid, that won't tell us anything.
exactly. But it's tricky. I've never seen a more complicated potion.
Well, how long will it take to make?
A month.
A month.
But Hermione, if it is the heir of Slytherin, he could attack half the Muggles in the school by then.
I know. But it's the only plan we've
I mean,
got.
it's there's more at stake with this film as well, which is why I prefer it.
Yeah, agreed.
Oh, welcome back.
Yes! I never went away.
I don't think the Quidditch game in this is as good as the first, but it's still entertaining. I mean, this is more of a chase scene, but I will say the effects in this sequence are better than the first and have held up better than the first.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of disappointed that Goblet of Fire didn't really have any Quidditch scenes. I mean, saw a brief glimpse of the Quidditch, but never really had a game in it.
Yeah, that would have been nice, you know, the Quidditch. I mean, they went to the Quidditch World Cup, for God's sake, you know. So you want to see the Quidditch game. I agree with you about the score from John Williams. Once again, very, very good score.
Would this be the last one he composed, or would it be Prisoner of Azkaban?
No, the Prisoner of Azkaban. And all three of the scores he did were great. I mean, he came up with the iconic theme tune, which always remained in every film.
Yeah. Is the reason why I didn't do the others was because he did Revenge of the Sith score?
I don't really know. I never looked into that, but I would assume so. Whoa!
Oh shit! That looked like it fucking hurt.
I mean, this is a very exciting chase sequence with what they call the bludger.
Yeah.
And once again, Dobby is up to no good.
It's always Dobby, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, stop it.
Oh shit, we've been watching for 55 minutes.
Really? Fuck. Must fly by.
Well, funny you should say that. We're at the Quidditch game.
Yeah.
Training for the ballet, Potter.
Training for the ballet, Potter. I also like the fact that this film increases the rivalry between Harry and Malfoy, which a rivalry which would continue to the very end of the series, which I think is great.
Malfoy's got such a hittable face.
This music actually sounds very similar to the music in Attack of the Clones. You know during the chase in Coruscant, the music sounds very similar. Would you agree? Dun, 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 dun.
I suppose you're right, actually. Yeah, I never noticed that before.
I mean, it's not completely the same, obviously, and I'm not knocking Williams for it, but it's just, it was just kind of strange to, just from an observational point of view.
After you saying that now, it sounds very similar.
Yeah. Whoa. Whoa. Oh, and the crown jewels.
Little shit deserved it.
Yeah, his dad's not impressed.
His dad looks like a very hard man to please.
Yeah, his dad's kind of stuck up, to be honest. Well, they won the game, so that's good.
You always feel bad for Harry, the fact that his parents are dead, because his parents never see him grow up, never see him become like a man.
Yeah, I mean, and he never really got to know them as well, so he's often kind of isolated in a way, kind of lonely, especially when he was with the Dursleys. Oh my God, he must have been depressed for the first 10 years of his life.
Yeah.
Not to worry, Harry. I'm not worried. I'm straight up.
I love this scene.
Not you.
Doesn't know what what he's saying.
In the end, Lockhart makes it worse.
This is a funny scene. Turns his hand into rubber.
Armando.
Takes the bone out of his hand.
Oh.
Yeah, well, but the point is, you can no longer feel any pain. It's very clear that the bones are not much more flexible there.
Mr. Malfoy, stop making such a production go. Out of my way.
But Harry's got way more visitors than Malfoy.
We'll be able to.
A little bit painful. For a rough night. Beat brain bones is a nasty.
Gallagher.
What do you expect? Pumpkin juice.
Skelligro. This film definitely does have a lot darker tone. It still is quite lighthearted, but the darker stuff I think works here really well.
Yeah.
Hello.
Here he is again, Dobby.
I should have listened to Dobby. I should have looked back when he missed the train.
It was you.
You stopped the barrier.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
Considering Radcliffe he's acting in front of nothing, he does a pretty good job.
Away from here. Must go home. Dobby would be enough. Harry Potter see.
Oh.
After me.
Oh.
Dobby
Shit.
feels most aggrieved, sir. Dobby had to iron his hands.
Oh shit. Oh.
Clear off before my bones strangle you.
I wouldn't blame him.
Dobby's used to death, sir. Dobby gets them 5 times a day at home. I don't suppose you could tell me why you're trying to kill me. Not kill you, sir. Never kill you. Dobby remembers how he was before Harry Potter triumphed over him. Who must not be named. House once were treated, sir. Dobby is ill treated.
The only other film Dobby would appear in is Deathly Hallows Part 1, which is...
Are you disappointed that he only appeared in one other film?
Yeah, because he's in more of the books, so it would have been nice for him to have appeared in at least one more film. But, no, never mind.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, would you agree that this film kind of has a bit more of an intriguing mystery than the first one?
Yeah, I think the story here is better than the first one.
I mean, that's not us knocking the first one, of course not.
Yeah.
But I think it's just more interesting because, as you said, we've had the world building, we've been introduced, we can just kind of go and tell a new story and continue telling the main story as well. So and I think it really works.
Agreed. Well, the way it just vanishes all the time. He becomes Stardust. Oh, lol. This is interesting, the way the student gets petrified. I agree with you. Like, I'm surprised that the school hasn't shut down.
And I think they're on the verge of closure in this one.
You can tell it's a wax dummy.
This mean?
It means that our students are in great danger.
Must have said no shit.
It's no longer safe. It is as we feared.
Dun, dun, dun.
Mm.
Also, do you think it's interesting how the three of them start to make the Polyjuice potion?
Oh yeah, I have to say the scene where Hermione and they transform is just hilarious.
But also another hilarious aspect of this film is Moaning Myrtle.
Oh yeah, funnily enough, she played Ollie's wife in Stan and Ollie, the actress.
Yes, she did. Yeah, Shirley Henderson, and she was in Love and Monsters as Ursula.
Yeah,
I think the ghost effects are really, really good.
yeah. Lol.
Sensitive.
That's an understatement.
Oh, this is a great scene.
Oh yeah.
It's funny how Snape manages to embarrass Lockhart right in front of the students.
He really is a pompous prick.
He loves being the center of attention. You can tell that. And this is great because Harry and Malfoy get to fight. Awesome.
The way he's standing in front of them, I expect him to go into his Henry V St. Crispin's Day speech.
Kenneth Branagh's actually quite an acclaimed director as well, isn't he? He directed the first Thor movie as well, and he's directed quite a lot of period drama things.
Yeah, he directed Hamlet, and he directed Henry V and starred in that, and Hamlet, and Cinderella, and stuff.
Shakespeare in Love as well.
He might have, I don't know.
We never really got to see like any wizard fighting in the first one.
It's such a shame that Alan Rickman has passed away.
Yeah, rest in peace, Alan. One. Expelliarmus.
Hermione she looks a bit disappointed.
Professor Smith, if you don't mind me saying, it was pretty obvious.
Of course it was obvious. You didn't see it coming.
Perhaps it would be prudent to first teach the students to block unfriendly spells.
An excellent suggestion, Professor Snape. Let's have a volunteer.
You can tell Snake has some contempt for Gilderoy Lockhart.
I think he just kind of sees him as this kind of pathetic weasel who's just very arrogant.
Yeah. I heard, talking about the cursed child, I heard Daniel Radcliffe doesn't want to do any more Harry Potter films. He said he's done with it. He just wants to do other stuff.
Yeah. I don't think the cursed child was very popular anyway. Not many people liked it, so we'll see in time, but yeah. I'm quite happy with it not being made.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Deathly Hallows was the end of the story anyway. And they already explained at the end of the book what happened years later anyway.
Excellent here. 1, 2.
Whoa. Fuck.
Snape looks pissed.
I said disarm only!
That is weird.
What did that do? Nothing.
It
Useless.
put it in the air. That was it.
Make your dreams come true. Just do it.
What?
Shia LaBeouf. Just do it.
Well,
You said tomorrow, so just do it.
the scene's interesting where he's talking to the snake. How does he know how to talk to the snake? I don't understand.
I think Harry is unaware that he's talking like that. He thinks that he's talking English. He doesn't really understand. But the whole thing is because he's connected to Voldemort. That's how he can do it.
So she says, "What are you playing at?"
That girl, the gingerhead girl, was actually Chris Columbus's daughter.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Tell us. What? Snake.
No, I accidentally said a Pokemon. Once. But so, I bet loads of people.
No, they can't. They can't. You're not a very common gift, Harry. This is bad. This is bad.
Well, maybe you could talk to his snake, Hermione. Well,
Oh god. Keep me snake in its cage.
he's a snake charmer.
I can speak a language.
Literally.
Without knowing it.
No, Harry. I don't know, Harry, but it sounded like you were egging the snake on or something. Harry, listen to me. There's a reason the Slytherin house is a serpent.
That is a script. That is a line you wouldn't hear if this script was made in America, egging them on.
Yeah. And I'm glad that these movies were not made in America. It wouldn't have felt like the books.
And if it had an American cast, it would be shit.
You lived 1,000 years ago. Well, we know. You could be.
Harry Potter. Oh. It's funny because in the books they said Ginny was like knockout gorgeous, like the most beautiful girl in her year. She's not. I mean, she's not bad looking, but she's definitely not knockout gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean, she's very pretty.
Yeah.
I think when you see Deathly Hallows Part 2, at the very end of the film, when they age her, she looks very hot. I think you'll notice a difference when she gets older.
You want to fuck her?
Yeah.
I love the music in this. The do, like do. It's just so good.
I love the voice work as well. How Harry's hearing all the voices.
Yeah, I agree. The film's a lot more intriguing than the first in terms of mystery.
And they keep the mystery going. You know, it doesn't really lose its way. I mean, at the moment, I think it's starting to slow down a bit, but it's still interesting for me. It never loses its mojo.
One thing I'm annoyed about is that oh shit.
I'll have you out this way.
No, Mr. Filch. Don't understand.
Well, why do you keep blaming him, you dickhead? One thing I will say that I'm kind of annoyed about is that they took out Peeves, the poltergeist, from the books.
Yeah, I would have liked him to be in the movies, but it's hard to find a place for everyone and everything. But he's in the games, which is good. He's in the third game, The Prisoner of Azkaban, which is good. And there's a part where you have to fight him, actually, as well.
Yeah. I know they actually, what's really interesting is for Philosopher's Stone, they did film some scenes with Peeves, played by Rick Mail, but they never used the scenes, and they never. And what's annoying is they never put the deleted footage of Peeves in any of the Blu-rays or DVDs. Like, I wish they just released those scenes, you know, so we could see it. But
Yeah. Shut up, lemon.
yeah, sherbet lemon.
I love
I
that.
love Dumbledore's office. It's really cool.
You know, I wish my head teacher had an office like that in school.
Yeah. It's funny the way the pictures are alive, the paintings.
The imagination of this world is amazing, and the detail. The attention to detail. None of that is ever lost throughout all the 8 films. It's incredible. It really is. I have to give my hats off to the filmmakers. I've seen this set. It looks a lot smaller in real life, but in the movie they make it look big. Obviously, you know, you can do set extensions and everything, but still, it's very interesting.
Lol, the sorting hat from the first film.
But I stand by what I said last year. You would have done well. Sliver. Wrong.
I love that music there when Harry sees Fawkes the Phoenix.
Yeah. And then it turns into ashes, which is interesting. And literally, it rises like a phoenix from the ashes.
Professor.
This is a great scene with Richard Harris as Dumbledore.
You have to see what it's doing. Fox,
The Phoenix.
he's a phoenix.
Burst into flame.
Burst into flame when it is time for them to die.
Then
They are reborn.
Aww. So cute.
Fascinating creatures, phoenixes.
The Order of the Phoenix.
Well, funny, the name Order of the Phoenix is not in reference to this. It's the name of Dumbledore's army.
Listen, Professor Dumbledore.
Sorry, it wasn't Harry.
I'd be prepared to swear in front of the minister.
Good old Hagrid.
I do not believe.
The thing I love about Hagrid is that he's so loyal.
Yeah. Looking on the Blu-ray, it is kind of obvious that Richard Harris's beard is fake, but
Yeah. To be fair, you'd be hard pressed to find an actor who has a beard that long in real life.
yeah,
It's very good, all things considered.
yeah. Of course it wasn't him. I mean, Harry, you know, he's not like that. Look, he must have said, yes, you're going to be replaced by Michael Gambon in the next film.
No, that would have been a shame. I mean, it still is, you know. I think he saw the movie. I think he did. It was at the premiere, but I think shortly afterwards he then passed. But it's such a shame because he's such a national treasure.
Oh, Richard Harris, yeah. He's a great actor as well. I mean, not just Harry Potter, but in so many films. He was in Gulliver, the original Gulliver.
Yeah, not the crappy Jack Black film.
God, yeah, that's shit.
Yeah.
He was in Unforgiven as well. Like, a lot of films.
We are almost halfway through this film.
Interesting that they spend Christmas at Hogwarts.
I think they have the option. They can go home or they can stay. It really just depends on what they want to do.
I mean, obviously he wants to stay because he doesn't like the Dursleys.
I think this year Hermione has chosen to stay, but last year she obviously went back to see her parents.
Oh, the cupcakes.
Also, is it just me, or is it weird how they changed the uniform slightly in the next film? Like the hoods have like the red in them and like the color of the houses.
Yeah. One thing I will say that I'm not a huge fan of in the later films is the fact that Harry wears more of his civilian clothes, like the hoodie and stuff. I prefer him in his school boy uniform, but
Yeah, I suppose, yeah, you're right, because it kind of feels like a disassociation with Hogwarts. And obviously the lessons he has to wear his uniform, but if he's got free time, then I suppose they're not, you know, they're partial to wearing normal clothes.
I love the fact that they just see these two levitating cupcakes and they just decide to take them anyway.
Yeah. Decide to fucking pig out and just eat them anyway.
Doesn't it knock them out?
Yeah.
Fat fucks.
How thick could you get?
Yeah, they are completely thick. It's like who thinks that when you see two levitating cupcakes, I mean, your first thought is, oh, let's eat them. It's how the hell did they get there and why are they there?
Well, they know that Crab and Goyle are thick. They're just
Ugh.
not intelligent. Essence of crab.
Oh, imagine if he got crabs.
Oh, God.
It's like a shitty milkshake.
Like a really bad one.
Me too. Me too.
Me three.
It's amazing how they managed to do all this under the noses of the teachers.
Well, ugh. What the fuck? Could you imagine physically transforming your whole body? It would just be fucking... It would be scary. 1 minute you're Harry Potter, Daniel Radcliffe, the next you're... Oh, God.
Ugh, a creepy but very impressive effect. And I
Yeah.
like the mirror shot. And the clever people who did the sound work did very good dubbing as well.
Bloody,
Yeah.
bloody hell. We still sound like ourselves. You need to sound more like Bloody hell. Bloody hell. Excellent.
Excellent. Turns out she's a cat or something, I think.
Yeah. She doesn't want to be seen by anyone.
Dun-dun.
I think the Slytherin common goes this way.
I saw the Harry Potter books on sale recently. I think I might buy them again and reread them.
What, the whole set?
Yeah,
I mean,
Oh,
but they
nice.
got new covers.
Mm.
I happen to be a school prefect. You have no business wandering the corridors at this time of night. What's your names again?
I'm
And Crab and Boyle.
Picking out in the Great Hall all this time.
Why are you wearing glasses?
Why are you wearing glasses?
Reading. I didn't know you could read. And what are you doing down here?
Didn't know you could read.
Surely when he sees the glasses, he would think, hang on a minute, that's Harry, but no, he obviously doesn't clock it for some reason.
Sit down.
It's funny that they're his only friends.
You never know the Weasleys of Stuart blood. The way they behave.
Embarrassment.
They're an embarrassment to the Wizarding world. All of them.
Oh shit.
What's wrong with you, Crab?
Stomachache. You know,
And also their voices have changed as well. So surely Malfoy would be suspicious.
I suppose Dumbledore.
Yeah.
Dumbledore's
Well, they're always always said that Dumbledore
was the worst thing that ever happened.
wrong.
You're wrong.
What? What? You think there's someone here worse than Dumbledore? Well,
Do you?
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter?
Good one, girl.
Good one, girl.
Absolutely right.
Absolutely right.
Sick.
Potter.
And people actually
And
think
people actually think that he's the heir of Slytherin?
but then you must have some idea.
You must have some idea who's behind it all.
No, I don't.
No, I don't, Goyle.
Yesterday.
Told you yesterday.
How many times do I have to
How
tell
many
you?
times do I have to tell you? Is this yours?
Just nab it.
Father did say this.
Father did say this.
It's been 50 years.
It's been 50 years since the table was opened.
You wouldn't tell me who opened
Wouldn't tell me who opened it.
Well, your daddy seems to know a lot then, Malfoy.
Never was opened. Died.
So it's only a matter of time.
Time.
Till this time. As for me, I hope it's Granger. What's the matter with you?
What's with you two?
You're acting very odd.
Odd.
Stomachache.
Stomachache.
Red hair.
Oops.
Hey, where are you going? That was close. Hermione, you got loads to tell you.
Go away. Wait till you see.
Oh dear. Yes, this was quite an amusing fight the first time you see it, where Hermione appears to be a cat.
The Apologies potion was only for human transformations. It was cat's hair popped up medicine with those robes.
A tale of two kitties.
Oh,
You've spoken to Hermione. She should be out of hospital.
Lol, that was on the other day, Garfield.
was it what the live action film?
Yeah.
The first one isn't bad, but the second is awful. Oh,
Bill Murray is quite funny as Garfield. The twat in the hat.
oh, don't remind me of that shit.
I love your rant.
Thank you.
Why would I throw something at you?
Because me. Here I am, minding my own business, and somehow people look
But it can't hurt if someone
Can't hurt if someone throws something at you. I mean,
go right through you.
they're right through you.
Let's all
What I love about Moaning Myrtle, she's so spontaneous. You know, you never know what she's gonna do or how she's gonna react.
But who threw it at you?
Yeah.
I didn't see them. I was just sitting in the U-bend thinking about death.
Oh,
Moaning Myrtle.
ooh!
This is Tom Riddle's book.
The mystery deepens, the plot thickens.
Imagine that was piss. I love the music here.
It's very haunting,
Really creepy.
and I like that we get to see the first Horcrux in this story.
It was really interesting as well. The way the ink. I affects the paper. Plopper.
Daniel Radcliffe does a great job. I think he has to carry this movie quite a lot. I think Ron, well, certainly Hermione, get a bit less to do, I think, in this one. I think definitely Hermione gets less to do, but yeah.
Chamber of Secrets. It's really interesting how they could talk back to you. Yeah.
I think it knows, it's wanted to find Harry for quite a long time.
No. I can show you. Shit.
Ooh. 50 years, eh?
So, what year is this set, though?
What was in the
story.
Harry year? Well, the books were written in obviously the 90s. Well, the first one was published in 97. But I think they were written to be set in like the late 80s, I think.
So this would be the 1930s then?
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, you see that warthog there? Like,
Yeah.
they have a warthog exactly like that in Campbell College, where I used to go to school.
Pumbaa's in town. Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase.
It's interesting, it's just a flashback, like, he thinks he can interact, but he can't. I think the mystery of this is really intriguing.
Yeah. It's actually kind of sad to see Hagrid be accused as well. And he's the most innocent person that anyone could ever meet.
Yeah, and he was kind of forced out of Hogwarts.
It's not wise to be walking around.
Yes, Professor. I suppose I had to think to myself if the rumors were true.
I'm afraid they are.
Is Tom Riddle in Slytherin?
I think he was, yes. I think he was in Slytherin.
Close Hogwarts, would they?
Understand. I'm afraid. The master didn't have no choice.
So if it all stopped, the person responsible was caught.
I like the way all the flashback scenes are in black and white. How old is Dumbledore in the series?
Well, they mentioned something about him being 150, but I mean, I don't really know. I mean, he's very old, I think. By the time Harry's there, he is very old.
I wonder what J.K. Rowling's favourite Harry Potter film is. Did J.K. Rowling ever say what her favourite Harry Potter film was?
I don't think she had a favourite. She was certainly in awe of the first one when it came out because it was the Hogwarts looked exactly how she pictured it. But yeah, this is quite an intense scene when we discover Hagrid is trying to get rid of the bit away.
You can't. You don't understand.
Dead girl's parents will be here tomorrow. The least Hogwarts can do is make sure the thing that killed their daughter is slaughtered.
Ooh.
Never killed no one. Never.
Let's just don't make good behaves, Hagrid. Stand aside.
No.
Stand aside, Hagrid.
No.
Whoa!
Oh shit.
Oh!
Well, spiders? Whatever he said, Aragon. I like this, like how the way it's kind of sucked out of the vision.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the best soundtracks of the Harry Potter series. I love it. The do, 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 like,
I think I agree. I mean, obviously, similar from the first, Williams definitely adds a new flavour to the score.
It can't be happening. I don't even know this Tom Riddle. Sounds like a dirty little snitch for me.
Well, he's a bit more than that.
What would any of us have done? Look, Hagrid's untraveled. Why don't we just go and ask him about it? That'll be a cheerful visit. Hello, Hagrid. Tell us, have you been setting anything mad and hairy loose in the castle lately?
Mad and hairy? You wouldn't be talking about me, though, would you?
No.
For you morning, guys. Sorry, had a very early start this morning. 4 a.m.
yeah, definitely not the recommended time for people to get up, but yeah.
No, start at 10:30 in the morning tomorrow. So that's nice.
Meantime, you three best be looking after yourselves. All right.
I love Hagrid. He's so lovable.
He's such a nice guy. You know, he's just like very friendly. You know.
Neville Longbottom. He is a goofball.
Yeah, but again, a lovable one, and he really does go on quite a character arc, and it's amazing his resolution, should we say, as a character.
It had to be a Gryffindor. Nobody else knows our password. Unless it wasn't a student.
Whoever it was. They must have been looking for something.
Huh.
Found it.
No shit, Ron.
Inspiring's gone.
Uh-oh.
Right, listen up. Play our game. Hufflepuff doesn't stand a chance.
More Quidditch?
Stronger, quicker.
I don't think that's appropriate. Not with the petrifications going on. If that's even a word.
Professor McGonagall.
This match has been cancelled.
Quidditch.
Silence. You were inviting me to go to Gryffindor Tower. No. Okay. You and I will find Mr. Weasley. There's something the both of you have to see.
Oh yeah, this is sad. Hermione gets petrified.
Yeah. Oh, God. They did a good wax work doll of her.
Oh, it's very sad. That's a bit of a kick in the teeth, really. After Hermione's so loyal and so good to them, you know, they've got to do it without her now.
Kicking the balls, yeah. It is, yeah, pretty sad. Well, at least she was just petrified, not killed.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse.
Don't they have a spell to reverse the petrifying?
No, unfortunately not. Oh, if only there was a spell for everything. But apparently something to do with the mandrake revives the petrified people. But they don't really explain it. So.
Well, yo ho ho, it's magic.
I mean, Harry's certainly in this film than he was in the first one.
I think all of them give stronger performances than the first one. I mean, they were great in the first one, but here they're even stronger.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I love this soundtrack. It's great. It's got a crossbow. Imagine they did a double-barreled.
Oh god, that would be awkward.
Nothing I was expecting.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. My name is Liz
What was he expected?
Hagrid? Hagrid? Hey, are you okay?
Sleep.
Did you hear about Hermione?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Heard about that already.
Look, I have to ask you something. Do you know who's opened the Chamber of Secrets?
What you have to understand.
Oh, just at the wrong moment.
Don't say a word. Go say it. Be quiet. Both of you.
Yeah. Hush, little baby, don't say a word.
Who you made the tea for?
Professor Dumbledore's here. Good evening, Hagrid. Wanda. With me. Of course. Come in.
That's boss. It's not. Minister of Magic.
Business, Hagrid. Very bad business.
Come.
Three attacks on Muggle
Hard
balls.
enough the minute.
Hard enough the minister's got to act.
No, I never.
No, I've never. You know, I'm never Professor. Understood, Cornelius. But Hagrid.
Wow, Richard Harris looks like a midget beside Robbie Coltrane.
Albus, look,
Hagrid is against him.
take me where? Not up to that.
Prison. I'm afraid we have a voice.
Already here.
It's interesting we'll see Azkaban in the next film.
What are you doing here?
Yeah,
Out of my head.
but this is the first film we see Cornelius Fudge, the Minister for Magic. Well, or at least until Order of the Phoenix.
No.
Yeah, he's used to royalty. Call this a house. So I think it's quite cozy. Pricks.
Oh, Jason, you creepy.
Great actor.
Very good. I think he's excellent in this film. And you can hear it in his voice, you know, how sarcastic he is.
Take them away, the
Muggle-borns won't stand a chance. You mark my words, there'll be killings next. Calm yourself, Hagrid. Governor's desire of my removal will, of course, step aside. However, you will find that people at Hogwarts.
It's such a shame because, I mean, Dumbledore, I mean, what's he done to anybody? He's such a nice guy.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, he is in charge of the school, so a lot of the problems are kind of on his shoulders. He's personally responsible for all of them.
I suppose if this happened in a real school, like, he'd be put in jail probably for negligence. I think he knew Harry was there. That's the look he gave.
I'm Hagrid.
Do you think Dumbledore knew Harry was there?
Maybe. I think, to be honest, Dumbledore probably did, because he kind of looks forward and almost as if he's about to nod.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I'm getting tired now.
Well, it is late. I mean, it is. Actually, it's not that late, but yeah.
No, just for me, because I've been up for so long. It's not to fall asleep. I'm relying on you, buddy.
Don't fall asleep on us yet.
Hmm.
Dumbledore gone. I'm going to take a day.
I think this film is pacier than the first, despite it being longer.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's gone by pretty quickly. There hasn't been any moments where I'm like, oh, this is fucking boring.
Can't be as boring as listening to Lockhart talk about himself every day.
Or as boring as Thunderball.
God, that film sucks.
I love Ron in this. He's just so funny.
Butterflies.
Yeah, well, that's the rub of it, Ron. So the cookie crumbles.
Learn to love your spiders.
I love
Ron.
Fang. He's such a funny dog. He reminds me a bit of Droopy from his cartoons.
You think?
Here, I'm Droopy.
I guess I can kind of see why you say that. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good comparison. Even Harry's getting annoyed with him.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. There are some people who are afraid of spiders. I had a friend who was arachnophobic.
I think my mum had a slight fear of spiders, but not severe, not like Ron, you can't stand them.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I don't mind spiders. I mean, for me, they kill flies, which is good. So the only spiders I'd be afraid of is poisonous ones.
Yeah, exactly. You get that one spider that just ends up in your room, it's crawled in. It's that time of year, I don't think there's really anything to worry about. Most of them can't really do a huge amount of damage. Obviously, if you have a tarantula, that's a little bit different. That's a little bit more freaky.
Although saying that, tarantulas aren't even poisonous, so
yeah, I mean, you're safe, so that's good.
That's why I always laugh, like in Doctor No. Oh shit!
Hagrid, is that you?
Yep.
We're friends of Hagrid's.
And here we meet Aragog, the giant spider.
Imagine if it was Lord of the Rings Shelob.
Yeah, I think there was. She definitely was inspired by that. I mean, because the name Aragog, it sounds a lot like Aragorn from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, when he said Aragog earlier, I thought he said Aragorn.
I think that close up of Aragog's eyes are a little bit like, whoa, freaky.
It's good prosthetic.
No.
In the pocket.
Shush.
You're not the monster.
What did I go 50 years ago?
We do not recover it. It is an ancient creature we spiders fear above all others.
Was that Moaning Myrtle who was killed?
Yes, she was the girl that was killed 50 years ago. Ron, he is funny in this film.
Such a baby.
He has a lot to deal with, though, in this film, to be fair.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, just go.
Go. I think not. My sons and daughters do not harm Hagrid on my
Oh, actually, Jack, fun fact. Guess who the voice of Aragog is?
Who?
Julian Glover.
Julian Glover? Seriously?
Yeah, no, I'm being absolutely serious. Look it up if you don't believe me.
That's interesting.
I think he's great.
Actually, I reviewed City of Death recently, the Doctor Who story of Tom Baker. That's a classic story. I can't wait until when you get to that story. He's the main bad guy, not Julian Glover.
He's in a lot of things.
Yeah. For Your Eyes Only, Bond, Star Wars, Indiana Jones.
Harry Potter.
Yeah. I think he's also in Game of Thrones in one of the episodes.
I wouldn't be surprised.
The car looks like shit now.
Oh yeah. Comes back actually, just out of nowhere. It just returns.
That was convenient.
Out there.
Whoa!
Ugh. I have to say, the prosthetic they got for these spiders, it's really good actually. It's quite disgusting as well. Kind of creepy.
Actually, yeah, really scary. I would hate to be grabbed by one of those things.
Yeah. Tiny spiders I don't mind, but a giant spider like that, ugh.
Oh, and I thought Shelob looked convincing in Return of the King.
Yeah. Can you imagine if Sam just arrived? Mr. Frodo!
I can't carry it for you, but I can carry you. Come on.
Can you imagine like Top Gear, Jeremy Clarkson? And they've got through the lap.
Coming through to Gambon. Across the line.
The stick is in the car.
And he's called Hagrid. The flying gear. I love how they can just fly when you change gear. That's great. Although, it'd be a slight problem for automatic.
Is it like a sixth gear or something?
Yeah. I think Mr. Weasley tampered with it. You know, he found the old car, he bought the old car, and he sort of made his own adjustments to it, the magical adjustments, so he made it fly and everything. It was interesting.
It is a nice car. Shame it gets wrecked.
I mean, could you imagine this on Top Gear?
Car just leaves again. See you later, bitches. That car needs a fucking MOT.
Oh, yeah. Full service and everything.
What have we found out? We know one thing. I could never open the Chamber of Secrets. He was innocent.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing. I don't know why they think he'd do that, but I suppose because he saw the flashback.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure Harry deep down knew that Hagrid would never do that. He just needed to know the truth.
Yeah. How is she still living if she's petrified though? Like, wouldn't she need to eat and stuff?
I guess in a way it's like they're in a coma, or it's like they're in sort of, in a way, like cryostasis, where the body just kind of shuts down, but they're still, they're still alive. It's hard. I don't know. It's hard to explain. But I mean, they normally, if you look at the basilisk, you die. But obviously, everyone has looked at it indirectly, so it hasn't given the full effect, which I think is interesting and kind of clever, really.
Yeah.
I guess because they're in a school, J.K. Rowling didn't want it to be so, like, full on, with death or anything, because then that would kind of mean that the school would have to close.
I think it would be a bit too dark anyway if you had pupils dying. Like...
Yeah. Leave that for the last film. It's for the final battle.
What if it kills? By looking people in the eye. Why is it no one's dead? Because no one did look at him. Not directly, at least.
Probably just caught a reflection of it in the mirror.
Dustin must have seen Prue nearly had to snip. Last of it, but he's a ghost. He couldn't die again. Hermione had the mirror. Anything she was using it to look around corners. Is it camera on? And Mrs. Norris? I'm pretty sure she didn't have a camera or a mirror, Harry. There was water on the floor that night. Only saw the basilisk reflection. Spiders flee before it. It all fits. How's the basilisk getting around? Dirty great snakes. Someone would have seen it. Marnie's answered that.
Pipes.
Pipes. Using the plumbing.
That's why there's water everywhere on the floor, Ron.
That girl 50 years ago.
Bit slow on the uptake, Ron.
Yeah. Been too busy going, oh.
I think Harry's the real brains here, and Hermione. Ron just kind of tags along.
Yeah. He's the goofy sidekick.
Well, saying that, I would love to have a friend like Ron. He's very courageous when he needs to be, and especially in the first one where he sacrifices himself on the chess.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's very loyal.
Uh-oh.
Fucking dickhead.
Weren't you saying just last night that you've known all along that it leads to the Chamber of Secrets?
Your skills,
It's funny that nobody believes him.
Well, my office getting ready.
Like all the staff don't think he's all that.
He's just an arrogant prick.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I was dozing off while shit went down.
Poor Ginny. In her first year of Hogwarts, she gets captured.
Her skeleton will lie in the chamber forever. Ugh.
That's pretty sadistic.
Well, her skeleton would be destroyed after a while.
Lock up may be useless.
I love the way it's scarpering.
What about my sister?
Oh, fuck her! Lol.
No one regrets more than I.
Your defense against the dark arts teacher. You can't go now.
Well, when I took the job, there was nothing in the job description about
Running away. You didn't stop.
Those things.
You're a fraud.
Oh.
I think this is a great acting scene from Daniel Radcliffe and Rupert Grint to Kenneth Branagh.
I'm rather gifted with memory charms. Otherwise, you see all those wizards gone black. Or sold another book. In fact,
I think Radcliffe really has improved with this film. Like he was good, he was great in the first one, but I think he's even better in this film.
Agreed. I think he's more confident, like you said, and his performance is stronger.
Well, we've watched this film for nearly 2 hours, so it's about time we got into the chamber.
Does Moaning Myrtle have a crush on Harry?
Yes.
Well, unfortunately, they couldn't have sex because his dick would go right through her.
Yeah, plus he's underage.
Yeah.
Severely underage.
Even when he grew up, they couldn't
Yeah,
be
well,
together.
She does make a reappearance in The Goblets of Fire. I was distraught.
I mean, I find it interesting that she's a ghost. Like, does that happen to all wizards when they die? Or do only certain ones become ghosts?
I think certain ones. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why Harry's parents couldn't appear as ghosts, but I don't know.
Ooh.
Is it Harry's parents? They could have raised him still.
Been fucking odd, though.
I mean, yeah, it'd be odd to have his parents.
You might just like, son, give me a hug, and he just goes right through him.
Yeah, family hug. It's like, I have, bring your arms in, Harry. I have, Dad. I have. Like, oh, you've got your arm through me. Oh, right.
Give your mum a kiss. Their head goes right through him.
Yeah. I love this moment when they open the Chamber of Secrets. I think it's one of the best moments of the whole series.
Agreed.
The music is great as well.
Oh, fuck.
There's a lot more to this school than meets the eye. It's actually quite a dangerous place.
Transformers, more than meets the eye.
Oh, God. Just do it!
God, Shia LaBeouf.
Shit the bed.
Excellent, Harry. Good work. Well, then I'll just be
I'll be off.
I'll be off.
Oh, yes, sir.
Oh, shit.
You first.
What good would it do?
Better you than us.
Coward.
He-
See ya.
Imagine he just died.
Really quite filthy down here.
All right. Let's go.
Oh, God.
Thanks, Myrtle.
Thanks, Myrtle.
She liked to be in his toilet. Oh.
Oh. Give him a royal flush.
That actually looks quite fun.
I think the set for the chamber is great. I mean, look at this. It's all like dirty and disgusting and rank. I think this is what we meant, like, by also getting darker as well. Like, especially, I mean, the climax as well is pretty dark.
Ugh, God. Are those human skeletons?
I think just bones, yeah. Go on. Funny how, like, Lockhart's being, like, coerced by the two boys.
It's interesting. He'd rather let them die and run away.
Than save Ginny.
Looks like a snake.
Lie his way out again.
Bloody hell. Never said this was wrong. Oh no.
Falls over. It's funny because that wand is broken.
But don't fret. The world story. I was too late to save the girl. How you two tragically lost your minds at the sight of her mangled body.
Oh,
He is a coward.
he is fucking coward. What he doesn't realise is that he picked up the wrong wand.
Say goodbye. Bye.
Yeah.
The memories.
Oops.
Uh-oh.
Whoa.
Harry! Harry! Ron! Ron, are you okay? I'm fine.
Who are you? Really? And who am I?
Oh, Lockhart.
Memory chart backfired. He hasn't got a clue who he is.
Odd sort of place, this, isn't it? Do you live here?
No.
Really?
Oh, like that. Get rid of Lockhart.
What do I do now? You wait here and try and get back through. I'll go on and find Ginny. Okay.
Woo!
I mean, Lockhart lost his memory.
Well, he lost his balls as well.
Never had him.
It's interesting, the design. I like the design of the chamber with the serpents. Hogwarts is a very, well, let's just say, it's more than just your ordinary school.
Ooh, disgusting.
I love the sets, though. They're really great
Yeah.
for the Chamber of Secrets.
The production design Oscar, I think. I think the Potter film should have won an Oscar for production design. This is seriously good.
Yeah. I mean, look at that. That is just fantastic. That is a great set.
With all the snakes that lead down to the big head over there. And look, the reflection as well. The detail is just, stunning.
You really tell they did not spare any expense with these films.
Oh, yeah. And I think they took risks, which I think is important. Plus, because the world is so big and huge, they had to. And, wow, it really is just amazing.
They just think how Tom Riddle hasn't aged a day.
No, I think because technically he's a projection from the book.
Yeah. It's cold as ice.
Ice, baby.
Won't come until it's cold.
It's interesting that he's a projection, but he could still pick up the wand.
Mm. I mean, he's linked to the diary, so yeah. If you can show Harry the past, then he can jump into the future.
He couldn't.
It was Ginny who set the basilisk on the mudbloods and Filch's cat. Ginny who wrote the threatening messages on the walls.
Why?
Because I told her to.
Ugh.
Very persuasive. Not that she knew what she was doing. She was, how we say, in a kind of trance.
Of course she was.
The power of
The power of the diary began to scare her. Tried to dispose of it in the girl's bathroom. And then, who should find it? But you.
Ooh.
The very person I was most anxious to meet.
Why did you want to meet me?
I knew I had to talk to you. If I could.
Is Tom Riddle dead in real life?
No, well, because he's Voldemort. He's just he's disembodied. This is just a version of him. Because I mean, the diary's the Horcrux, so it's part of his soul.
Oh yes, I forgot.
But obviously, in the Goblets of Fire, he sort of fully manifests, and he becomes a physical being.
Yeah, because it says, I am Voldemort. I remember that, yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's coming very soon.
2 hours, and the draft will be ready. Everyone who's petrified will be all right.
Ooh.
For many months now.
My new target.
Yeah, I do wonder why he tried to murder all the mudbloods.
The baby with extraordinary magical talent was able to defeat the greatest wizard of all time. How did you escape? With nothing but scar, while Lord Voldemort's powers were destroyed.
Why do you like how I escaped? Voldemort was after your time.
Voldemort is my past, present, and future.
Oh.
Tom Marvolo Riddle.
I am Voldemort.
Interesting anagram. You're the heir of Slytherin.
I was going to keep my filthy muggle father's name.
I fashioned myself
a new name. A name I knew wizards everywhere would one day fear to speak when I became
the greatest sorcerer in the world.
Albus Dumbledore is the greatest.
Dumbledore's been driven out of his castle by the mere memory.
Dumbledore.
He'll never be gone. Never be
Oh,
gone. As long as those who remain are loyal and loyal to him.
You always count on Dumbledore. If you need him, call him. No matter where you are, no matter how far.
So Tom Riddle was Voldemort's original name.
Yes.
What's the sorting hat?
Because I think his father was named Tom Riddle. So obviously from that name he came up with Voldemort because he didn't get on with his father, so he wanted to fashion himself a new name, as he said.
Yeah.
This is great. I love this when Harry takes on the basilisk, and then the sword of Gryffindor appears, and he has to fight it. I think this is more epic than the first film as well.
Agreed.
The basilisk looks great.
Interesting how Harry's seen it and he's not petrified.
Yeah. He's trying not to look at it, I think.
CGI for the basilisk is great.
Yay, go Forks! Woo!
I'll need to reread the books again. I haven't read the books in years.
Yeah, the books are great. I mean, they certainly give you more specific details. I mean, J.K. Rowling never forgets, details.
Yeah.
But the movies can only put so much in. This makes it slightly easier. The bird has blinded the basilisk, so at least this way Harry can't get petrified or get killed.
He gets the sword. The sets are absolutely great.
I mean, this music track just now, this sounds very Star Warsy.
Oh shit. It's basically focusing in on sound waves now. Looks a little bit like a dinosaur.
You want to walk the dinosaur?
The good dinosaur.
It's not about control. It's about a relationship.
Jurassic World.
Yeah, Alan.
Anytime we have to talk to Alan now, we just have to use that clip. Alan.
Alan. I don't think he'll get it though because he's not seen Jurassic Park 3.
That was easy. Harry Potter.
Yes, Potter. Process is nearly complete. Few minutes, Ginny Weasley will be dead.
Oh God.
Lord Voldemort will return. Very, very much alive.
Out of all the people, why Ginny?
It's her first year at school. She didn't deserve that.
Not a good way to start. He got a sword.
I love this sword of Gryffindor. I swear I used to have a toy of that sword.
I never did. This looks great. I mean, 17 years later, it still holds up really well.
I mean, as well, I have to say.
Whoa, shit. You know, for just a pupil, Harry, he seems to get in a lot of adventures.
Yeah, he can't complain about his time at school. Even though there was the whole Dark Lord trying to catch him, but, you know, other than that,
Yeah. He's in a lot of danger for just a pupil at Hogwarts.
he's certainly very brave. I don't think there are many people that could be as brave as Harry.
I see a couple of wires there. Well, I did see a couple of wires holding up the basilisk.
Oh,
This is a great moment.
whoa.
Ow.
I mean, that was epic.
Awesome.
It makes the basilisk seem really brutal when you say a 12-year-old boy defeated it with a sword.
Just imagine Nelson there. I think he's hurt. I said, Well,
2 hours, 14 minutes. Oof.
I have to say, what I love about the film is even though it uses CGI, it also uses a lot of prosthetic.
Yeah, there's a lot of practical stuff as well.
Oh. You piece of shit.
Oh, Ginny. That's my future wife you're talking to.
Voldemort is a prick.
Huh.
Voldemort.
Stop. No!
Die.
Yes.
And this is the first of the 7 Horcruxes to be destroyed. And Harry doesn't even realise it.
If Voldemort came back, would he be in that form as Tom Riddle, young Tom Riddle?
I don't know. I mean, obviously, he used the diary as a way of coming back. Because, I mean, his, you know, at the end of the first film, he's kind of, he had to leave Quirrell because Quirrell got destroyed. So I guess he kind of jumped into the diary.
It's funny because he saved her life and later on they be together.
Yeah. Although weirdly enough, Ginny doesn't really do much in the film. She's only in a couple of scenes. There's that meme on Google which with Harry, Ron, and Hermione and Ginny, and you know, Harry's like talks about Ron and Hermione. He's like, "Well, Ron got the girl, so I nailed his sister."
Lol.
Oh. Fawkes. Which Fawkes made more of an appearance.
Save his life.
Healing powers. Yay.
Kind of reminds me of the Cup of Christ from Last Crusade.
It is a bit of a, you know, plot convenience.
Yeah. Well, suppose they couldn't have the main character die.
Not in the second film.
That Phoenix prop was really good.
Oh, yeah. The music is it's beautiful. Lock up.
If I was Harry, I'd just leave him down there.
It's made me wonder how they actually, like, so all they had to do was really just fly out.
Imagine they were expelled. That'd be a turn for the books.
Yeah. Oh, I will say the film does take a while to end. I think the ending is a little bit drawn out. Like this scene in the office, and then the final scene in the hall is a little bit long, but still, it's worth it because the ending is very moving.
It's really sad that this is Richard Harris's last film, and this is his last few moments. But I mean, I mean, for the record, he is the best Dumbledore in my opinion. I mean, he may have only been in the first two films, but he just captured him brilliantly.
Yeah, and I think his costume is great as well. I mean, you know, let's not be unkind. I mean, Michael Gambon was a good Dumbledore.
Yeah, I'm not shitting on him.
No, I mean, even if it took him a while to get into the role. But yeah, I think Harris is the stronger Dumbledore.
You know, I think Michael Gambon was good. It's just I preferred Richard Harris, but that's just me.
I love how they always she always hints, J.K. Rowling always hints at the whole Harry and Voldemort connection thing and Harry being a Horcrux. Even this early on.
Yeah, this is a really nice scene. I mean, it is a shame this was his last movie. I mean, unfortunately, he passed away, but it's nonetheless still a great scene. Did Dumbledore regenerate? Well,
I guess he did. So he got a new costume.
I prefer his red costume to the grey one he had.
No, disregard the rules.
It's not our abilities that show us who we are.
Ooh.
Gryffindor. Just you. Take a true Gryffindor. Put that on the map.
Oh, here he is. Lucius Malfoy.
The prick of all pricks.
Yeah. And Dobby.
Family you serve as the Malfoys.
It's interesting. Dobby gets released from his service at this end of this film.
Yes, well, with a bit of clever help from Harry. Yeah. I think Chris Columbus directed this film very well. He definitely, I think his direction is a bit better in this one.
I wish he'd come back, or one of the other directors.
Yeah, I mean, he was still involved in the third film, but he was just a producer, I think. He wasn't there. He stepped down from the directing. So, but I mean, Alfonso Cuarón is a great director, and he took on the third one.
Yeah. And
his tone of voice is it's great. It's so sly and menacing.
Voldemort.
Ah.
This time he chose to act through somebody else. By means of this.
It's interesting how Harry finds out if he stabs the book that kills Voldemort.
Well, later on in the Half-Blood Prince, Harry he learns about the Horcruxes through Dumbledore, who's trying to destroy them himself. But it doesn't particularly work out.
Always be around. Save the day. Save the day.
What a dickhead.
Don't worry. I will be.
Apparently, that line from Harry was improvised. The "Don't worry, I will be." That was improvised.
It's a good line.
Yeah, and then they used it for the trailer.
We leave you.
Oh, treats Dobby like shit.
Poor Dobby.
Harry, he didn't have to release him from his service because, Dobby treated him crap.
True. I guess, he understood that Dobby was trying to protect him. But at the same time, he was annoyed. But I think because he knows that Lucius Malfoy is a bastard, he doesn't want to leave Dobby subjected to that shit.
I think you do so. Tip the diary. Tip the diary. It's cold. It's cold. And day at Diagon Alley.
Harry's very clever.
He's no dozer. Ooh. I love that little sly smile he gives. Why don't you prove it?
Come, Dobby.
Dobby?
A sock.
Representing Dobby with clothes. Dobby is free.
Ooh. I didn't know that if you gave shit.
You shall not harm Harry Potter.
Who's going to use the killing curse?
Parents were medicine tools too. Mark my words, Potter. When they sue, you will see.
Wow.
That's
Dickhead.
charming.
Harry Potter free Dobby.
It's kind of weird that if you just give him a piece of clothing, he's free.
Yeah, well, it's a very simple rule, I suppose. So.
Imagine if you gave him his pants.
Oh, God, yeah. Just gave him all of his clothes.
Lol. It's kind of interesting. He's like, you cost me my servant.
Yeah, you lost me, my servant.
Thank you.
Actually, funny, this is the last film John Cleese appears in as Nearly Headless Nick. He doesn't appear in any more Harry Potter films.
It's interesting. Oh, it's nice Hermione's back at the end.
I think they're part of us. We were kind of led along for many years to believe that Harry and Hermione would end up together, but no, Ron and Hermione ended up together, which I think works out a lot better, actually.
Yeah, I think J.K. Rowling defied your expectations.
Yeah. Because I think Harry and Hermione are more like brother and sister than, lovers. Despite that weird scene where they snog in the Deathly Hallows, but we'll get to that later.
It's kind of funny. For years, Ron and Hermione were just platonic friends. Then he got to boner.
Yeah. But that moment there when he just shakes her hand, it's a little bit awkward.
Before we begin, let us have a round of applause for Professor Sprout and Humphrey, Mandrake Juice himself, administered all who had been petrified. It's a school treat. A school treat. All exams have been cancelled.
Wow, that's not a luxury you get in a normal school. Exams being cancelled. Hermione's disappointed, but you know, what about the students that are doing like their, well, I'd say A levels, their higher exams, and all people that are doing their GCSEs? That would basically screw them over.
Sorry I'm late.
Hey, Hagrid.
Well, they'll probably do the exams later, but yeah.
Yeah. I guess maybe it's just cancelled for now.
Some ruddy bird named
Errol.
Bronze bird.
This ending is very moving when they all stand up and cheer for Hagrid.
This is kind of an end of an era in some ways, because it's the last film directed by Columbus. It's the last film with Richard Harris. And it's the last film with Nearly Headless Nick. So in some ways, it's kind of an end of an era in some ways.
Yeah, in a minor way, but obviously there's still a lot more story to come.
It's kind of, you kind of say it's the end of the big, the sort of the first chapter of the Harry Potter series.
I guess so.
Hogwarts without you, Hagrid without you.
Oh, I like that. It's not Hogwarts without you, Hagrid. It's just the resolution of this film has always been very lovely. It's just very. It's the end of the light-hearted Harry Potter.
Yeah, I know some people. I know Sam Harrison said that he doesn't really like any of the other Harry Potter films after the second one because he thought they got too dark and depressing, which is fair enough. I can understand some people not liking the other films as much because they got darker, but it didn't really bother me. I mean,
No, I think depressing is going a bit far. I mean, okay, maybe an argument could be made for Order of the Phoenix, but I think all of the 8 films are very good, very entertaining in some way or another. And this is one of the nicest endings. It's just it's not to do with the story. It's just a great character moment for Hagrid, you know.
Yeah.
And everybody's applauding, you know.
Aw. You're making me blush, Harry.
Even Hermione's crying as well.
Yeah. Wow. Really getting into the scene.
That final shot as the camera pulls back is great.
Dun, 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 dun. It's a great way to end the film.
I agree. Oh. Well, it's been a long ride, but it was certainly worth it. I got my money's worth.
Yeah.
I think we should round of applause. The second film. Woo! Chamber of Secrets. Great movie. That was very entertaining.
Oh, Mark Radcliffe. Well.
For me, it is my 3rd favorite in this franchise.
Yeah. I mean, for me, sorry, go ahead.
No. After you first.
I was just gonna say, for me, out of the Harry Potter films I've seen, it's definitely my favorite. I mean, I've yet to see the last 3, but I think this probably will remain my favorite. I mean, I just remember watching this film like a lot when I was a kid. I had the DVD, and I absolutely loved this film. I think Chris Columbus, he did a great job with the first film. The first film is a classic, but here, I think he improved. I think his direction here is even better. I mean, it is longer than the first film, but I think it's a great movie. I mean, I think the story is more interesting. There's a lot more intrigue with the whole Chamber of Secrets and Tom Riddle and all that stuff. I think the cast is great. I think Daniel Radcliffe, I mean, he was great in the first film, but I mean, here he's even better. He's more settled into the role. He's more confident, and he's great. And I think the whole cast do a great job. Like, you know, Rupert Grint and, you know, Emma Watson and all that, and they all do a really good job. And Kenneth Branagh's great. And I mean, this film's kind of, in some ways, kind of an end of an era because it's sort of the last, like, quite light-hearted Harry Potter film, and it's the last one by Chris Columbus, it's the last one with Richard Harrison. So, I mean, in some ways, it's kind of an end of an era. I mean, even though it isn't, you know, the end of the Harry Potter franchise, it, you know, I mean, the tone would change quite a bit after this. Like, Prisoner of Azkaban is a lot darker than Chamber of Secrets, but Chamber of Secrets is darker than the first film. So each film sort of progressively gets darker. But I think it's a great film. I think it really is. For me, it's a classic, and you know, we followed the book very faithfully, which was really good. He did a really faithful adaptation of the book. So,
and any criticisms?
Not really. No, I don't really have any criticisms of it. I mean, maybe you could say at 2 hours 40, it's a bit too long, but you know that doesn't really bother me. I mean, it may be longer than the first film, but I think it's paced really well. I think the pacing is great.
I mean, the idea of an extended cut is not an idea that appeals to me. I don't know about you. So, I mean, for this film particularly.
Have you seen the extended cut?
No, I haven't, and I don't really want to because I think the film's long enough, and it is the longest Harry Potter film so far.
Yeah, I mean, I think an extended cut is ridiculous because then it would be getting into the 3-hour mark. You know, I mean, it would be ridiculous to have a 3-hour long Harry Potter film, but yeah, I mean, it may be the longest, but for me, it's paced really well. It's, you know, it's not like there isn't like whole sections of the movie where you're like, oh, please just fucking hurry up, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's only a part in the middle where it kind of slows down majorly. I pretty much agree with everything you said. I mean, obviously, before I go on, what would you rate the movie? Sorry.
Probably give it a 10.
You give it a 10 out of 10?
Yeah.
Nice. I mean, in my review, I gave it a 9, and I think I might still stand by that. I mean, my only complaint is that I think it is too long. There are just a section in the middle where it does slow down. I think you could have... It was in, you know, just about 10 minutes where it is a little bit long. It's like, okay, come on. It's really getting on, and it takes a while to end. But I really enjoyed this film, and I think it's better than the first one.
That soundtrack there is great.
Oh, I love it. It's the track is actually called Fawkes the Phoenix. It's so good. I mean, the music is amazing. The world is still amazing. We're still seeing new things. I love the imagination. The direction by Columbus is great. The kids do amazingly in this one, especially the 3 leads. They're just terrific. Daniel Radcliffe especially is very good in this film. The final confrontation with Tom Riddle is great. Richard Harris in his final performance as Dumbledore is fantastic, and rest in peace. But all the cast are great, and it is slightly darker, but it still has that sense of fun. You know, it's kind of edging in that darker direction, but it won't fully get dark till The Prisoner of Azkaban, which is the next film, when we change directors.
Isn't Gary Oldman in that one?
He is, yeah. He plays Sirius Black. Why so serious? But
wrong movie.
Yeah, of course. But you know, I do love the first one, but I really enjoyed the second one as well. They're almost, I mean, they are kind of equal, but I do prefer this one slightly, just because the story's more intriguing. I think it is better paced, despite it being a longer movie, even though it is too long. The effects are better as well. There's a lot more action. It's action packed. It's just, I mean, you just look at it and you go, it is better in every way. And, you know, there's still a lot more of this series to come. So we have got, you know, we've still got another 6 movies of this series to, you know, enjoy. And I mean, the story gets better and more intriguing for me. And it's also quite funny. There's a lot of good humor, especially with Kenneth Branagh as Lockhart. Yeah. He's quite funny.
Magical me.
Yeah. Funny, there's actually a scene after the credits where we see him. He's written another book. But yeah, I mean, I scored this a 9 out of 10, a very strong 9 out of 10. I can't give it a 10 simply because of some of the pacing in the middle is a little bit slow. I think it is slightly too long at 2 hours 40. I don't think a Harry Potter film could really get any longer. Yeah. The idea of an extended cut to me seems a little unnecessary because this film is appealing to a family audience.
Yeah.
Really sit there for so long, but the story never loses its interests. It never loses its flair, and also the practical effects are fantastic. The attention to detail, like with Aragog and all of the things, actually are great. And Fawkes as well. The action sequences are great. The flying car. I mean, there's just so much to love about this film. There really is. I mean, and Dobby. How could we forget about Dobby? Dobby's amazing.
Mr. Potter will not go to Hogwarts. You lost me my servant.
Oh, but I mean, who doesn't love the Chamber of Secrets? It's great. I mean, some people actually considered it to be their least favorite of the series. Not that they thought it was rubbish, but I think because of the runtime and like, I don't know, some people just didn't rate it, which is a real shame. But I really like it. I don't see why people would say that.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I still do. Rewatching it, I still think it's a great film. And I mean, maybe my ranking will be different once I watch all the films. Maybe it won't be at my number one spot. Maybe one of the later films will be. I don't know. But I think it's a great film, and at the moment still stands as my favorite of the series. And I think Christopher Columbus did a great job.
Here we go. The last scene.
Interesting that he had a post-credit scene because he didn't in the first one.
Who am I? Gildor Lockhart.
Who am I?
Funny, he remembers his own name, but he doesn't remember anything else.
Kind of feel a little bit bad for him, but yeah. Well.
Yeah. Well, that was very entertaining. That was very enjoyable. Sorry about in the middle, I kind of dozed off, but it's just been a long day.
Yeah, I mean, starting at 4 a.m. and it's nearly midnight. That is an incredibly long day.
Oh, it's all right. I don't have to be up too early tomorrow, so it's good.
Well, you've been.
But
sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm finished. What I was going to say.
I was just going to say, yeah. I mean, you've been up 20 hours nearly. Yeah.
No worries. I'll sleep it off. But yeah, that's pretty much it, folks. That's our commentary on the Chamber of Secrets, and our brief discussion at the end, and our ratings. So yeah, that's it. Jack, is there anything you want to say before we finish?
No, not really. Just that I really enjoyed doing the commentary with you.
Yeah, thank you. Me too. I enjoyed it as well. And stay tuned next time for our commentary on The Prisoner of Azkaban, which should be fun. So, until then, folks, bye for now.